today I'm joined by BOYOCA. They're incredibly talented multi-instrumentalists from Birmingham. They've just released their debut EP, He's a Fool, on EMK, a brand new music platform. And firstly, guys, how are you doing? How does it feel to have your EP finally out in the world?
How's it going, man? It feels great. I mean, this first EP has been a couple of years in the making. You know, some of those tracks we actually made quite a while ago, and that process of getting them signed up and released in the way we wanted to. It's taken a while, but feels great now to be able to share all those tunes with everybody.
That's really great. That's really great to hear. First of all, how did you meet sort of as a group? How did you meet each other?
Back in the day, maybe like 2012 kind of time.
Yeah.
We were in like a rock band together.
Oh, cool.
Indie rock kind of thing. And then there was like 4 or 5 of us, and then that kind of disbanded. Lewis was a languages student at the time, and he was like went abroad for a bit.
Oh, wow.
And then we started getting into more electronic music while we were like apart. And then when Lewis came out to the UK, we were kind of more into like electronic stuff, but because we were like still very much like musicians and stuff, that's kind of where we integrated the live elements into it as well, so that we could have our cake and eat it too.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. So, because that's one big part of your music, isn't it? The fact that you include live instrumentation to your tracks.
Yeah, that's it. Like things like guitars, like pretty much come straight from being in guitar bands, you know, and then everything we do in the studio is kind of, we try and make it as hands-on and as real as possible, you know. So things like hardware sims, a lot of percussion, you know, and actually trying to play the parts in and record them live as opposed to just drawing MIDI, in Logic and things like that. And that's a big part of the vibe and big part of you know, where the sound comes from.
Yeah, I think you can definitely hear that as well in the tracks. You can hear the difference sometimes between like a live instrument and a sort of MIDI drawn instrument. I definitely can hear that. Where did the actual name BOYOCA come from? Was it one of your ideas, or was it something you saw? Or
we had a list of names that we were working with, because it's not an easy task. It's one of my least favorite tasks, has been trying to name any band that I've ever been in. Yeah. But BOYOCA is actually a combination of our surnames. I'm Tim Boyce and he's Lewis Carr.
Of course.
So BOYOCA. Although it gets mispronounced quite a lot, but
it gets Booyaka a lot, doesn't it? But that's okay. I mean, there were some really bad ones on the list. I don't think we're going to share any. But,
that's cool. That's what I didn't realize that. That makes sense though. But that's really cool that it actually.
There's only been 1 or 2 people who've actually realised it without being told where the name came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was it that someone like
Henry
picked it
Liston,
up?
Right?
Yeah. He kind of just sussed it out on his own, which was quite impressive.
Yeah,
it's not that obvious.
Yeah, no, definitely. I didn't think of it at all. Okay, let's get into some of the tracks that you've got on the EP. So the first one is Bamboo Mask, that was released quite a while ago now. Where does because obviously they're all the names, I think there's a very tribal sort of imagery that you've sort of got on some of your like the EP covers and stuff like that. Where did the sort of that imagery sort of come from in Bamboo Mask?
The tribal thing, it's definitely a feature of our sound, like because we love like all those kind of world sounds and stuff, world kind of act. It was just that we like so many of those sounds that they're kind of part of our sound, but they're not definitive of our sound, I'd say. Like Bamboo Mask is an interesting one, because the actual lyrics to Bamboo Mask did have Bamboo Mask in them.
Oh, okay.
But they got removed, but the actual vibe of the song and the instruments we were using still worked.
The district, I guess the kind of tribal stuff's in that is in that vocal take, really. And the of that is just the energy. The energy that brings really adds to that song. But yeah, I mean, some of the songs on there, we've kind of like catered to a few different things with the songs. Like Bamboo Mask, is we've tried to put a verse in there,
Yes.
And it's got a little bit more of a song structure as opposed to like Elasticity, which is a bit more of a late night kind of dance floor tune.
Yes.
Yeah, because like being in band stuff, like we're still trying to get like song writing in there in some form. Sometimes it's quite hard to do because of it's also dance music, which in a lot of cases doesn't have that many lyrics. So it's a delicate balance sometimes, and sometimes it's more like one song's more songy, other songs more clubby, and we just try to do a bit of both because we like both.
Yeah, we like it. We like them both. That's it.
Is there quite a big difference when it comes to sort of traditional song structure and sort of electronic song structure?
Yeah, I think so. It depends. Like, I think the more kind of you want it to be relevant for like playing out like DJing in a club, it's probably going to have a lot less lyrics in it than the songs which would be more fitting on the radio. But I think the sound palette's still the same. I guess it's more the structures that might be a bit different.
Yeah.
And like the dancier ones are a bit more minimal, I guess.
How was it to perform at the Hare and Hounds on Thursday?
That was wicked, man. It was such a good gig. I mean, we've done a few bits live in the past.
Yeah.
This was kind of really the first official thing. And the show was great. I mean, it was difficult setup getting translating the songs for a live show, saying like songs that we make for the dance floor and for DJs to get that live energy and make it an entertaining show. A lot of thought goes into that, but went really well.
Good feedback all round, really, and there was a good turnout.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much took our whole studio really to the Hare and Hounds. That was kind of it.
This room is just like a wasteland.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, it's it. So like literally set up the studio on stage and like kind of like a pod set out that we were both behind, and then just tried to play as much as we could, as many parts as we could.
Yes.
As many parts, like drum parts are really cool for energy, and like when we both pick up the guitars, like the bass guitar and stuff, it puts on a real show. We actually got some singers involved as well. For a couple of them. Like a lot of them we were kind of triggering samples live, and some of the vocals on just like a backing track. But yeah, we got a couple of singers down for it. I really think that stepped it up for a couple of songs. Yeah,
they just did a track each and it worked really well. Just had a bit of variation just to actually see a singer doing it rather than a DJ in it.
That's really cool. Did you actually? That's a good point actually with vocals, because in this EP you had worked quite a lot with vocalists, isn't that right?
Yeah, we've worked with a few on this EP. Yeah, Bamboo Mask is Janelle Antonisha, who's a Birmingham-based artist. I don't know if you know her, but she's got a really, really great voice, and she was on Bamboo Mask.
Actually, got I think another singer as well that we worked on with a long time ago on that called Julia. I mean, some of the main vocal hooks for Bamboo Mask actually came off an old project, didn't they?
Okay.
So yeah,
like sometimes say you have something, you record something with a singer, but whatever the session didn't quite work on that song, but you kind of got those vocals to reinvigorate later on if needed. Yeah,
get on the pitch shifter and that.
That's cool. And that's cool. Do you find it different to working with samples, or is it sort of the same techniques?
Sometimes you can write a song and use it as a song, kind of as it was written, but then other times you take the vocal and kind of turn it into your own kind of homemade sample. So it depends on the track, really.
Yeah, it does. Depends.
That's cool. That's really cool to know. And finally, what's your plans for the future? Obviously, you've got this EP out in the open now. Are you carrying on releasing more singles, sort of remixes? Because I know you did a remix of Moshiba's track. What's sort of the future for BOYOCA?
Next in the diaries, we're going to be releasing our second EP.
Wow!
At the start of next year. Yeah, so that's another 4 tracks, and they're all like everything's finished and set for those. I mean, we're finalising the dates, but it's looking at like February, March time. We're going to start that. So that's next for that, and then.
Just want people to hear. Obviously, it took us a while to get this one out, so we're just gonna like obviously we've got the next EP coming out next year, but for now we're just trying to get people hearing the one that we've
that's out.
Yeah,
that's it. So yeah, I guess Tim's right. I mean, we're going to put out a load of content around this EP.
Yeah.
You know, we've still got lots of live versions, music and things.
Yeah, we filmed all of Thursday as well. So we're
okay.
Like sharing like footage, like we've got a good friend of ours who's really good at like video stuff, and he's sorted us all out. Looking forward to seeing the edits of that.
Yeah, man.
It looks really good.
Full 1 hour live show, really, isn't it? And we'll be able to take bits for different uses. So
yeah, I can't wait to see that, especially if they're sort of rejigged for a live sort of audience. That would be really cool to see. And one of the things I always think is really cool, like I never use sort of all of the instrumentation that you have. I've got keys at home and stuff like that, but I've never sort of had a go at sort of using like live sampling and stuff. Do you always have that sort of, you just want to be jamming all the time because it's just there and you can use it?
I think it's part of it because it just makes it more fun. Like it's hard to, it's good to like come from a few different angles. I think like the more, like if you've got more equipment and more instruments you can play, it doesn't necessarily make your music better, but it allows you to come from different perspectives more often, you know, like allows you to have more fun, which kind of in turn helps you out, I think.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for speaking to me, BOYOCA. It's been an absolute pleasure. And the new EP is out now called He's a Fool. So do go and stream it because it is absolutely fantastic.